Good morning. It's Thursday, June 12th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Canada's steel industry hit with further layoff news as ArcelorMittal announced it is closing its wire drawing mill in Hamilton.
Crown will continue its final arguments in the World Juniors sexual assault trial in London.
And the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 against OKC in the NBA Finals. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday Eve.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Almost there.
All right. Yep. Yeah. Or Friday Junior, or
Whatever it is.
However you want to look at it.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we are almost there. We're almost at Friday the 13th. Yeah. That's the last. Is it the only one this year? I don't.
Yes.
Have we had
so.
one?
I think there are three next year. Simone was saying.
Okay. Oh, we'll make up for it next year.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're all in the winter.
Yeah. Oh well, that'll be fun, won't it? Okay. Well, at least we've got a almost a summer Friday the 13th coming up, and it's not going to be a bad day tomorrow. Just mainly cloudy, a little bit on the cool side. Okay, grab the leathers, you'll be fine, and enjoy the ride. But today we are looking at mainly cloudy skies to start the morning here. We're actually quite mild at 15 degrees. We're going to climb to 24 today, a little shy of what we got to yesterday. Yesterday got to 26, but we won't have that strong wind. We had a really strong wind yesterday afternoon. So today, just a chance of a shower this morning. It's a slim chance, only 30%, and then we'll see a little more sunshine as the day goes on. So not a bad day. And we'll talk about that in detail coming up. Always check traffic this hour of the morning, and there's really nothing happening. Here's Nikola Tesla Boulevard. Looks good. Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us toward the Skyway. Here's the top of the Skyway. Toronto-bound towards us now. This is the camera on the Burlington side. Flip ahead to Brodie Road. Nothing going on Burlington, Oakville, even in through Mississauga. Just some construction through Mississauga, but most of it that's the overnight construction is pretty much coming to an end by now. Oh, and we'll talk about more construction for the weekend coming up in a few minutes when we look at traffic. We'll also look at the forecast. Right now, here's a look at the news.
Thank you, Brian. We are watching a developing story in India this morning where a passenger plane carrying 244 people on board has crashed. Air India says the plane crashed in the country's northwestern city of Ahmedabad. The plane crashed into a residential area just 5 minutes after taking off. The flight was bound for London's Gatwick Airport. We're still waiting for official word on casualties.
Closer to home, there's been what police are calling a large fire in Milton. Halton police had posted on social media just before 10 last night that Guelph line was closed from Highway 401 northbound to number 10 Side Road because of a fire at a nearby scrapyard. No further details have been shared since. We have reached out to police for more information, have not heard back, but camera operator Levi Luke, he's there for us this morning. He says Guelph line has barriers up at number 10 Side Road.
ArcelorMittal Long Products Canada has announced that it is closing its wire drawing mill in the city, leaving 153 steelworkers without a job. The wire drawing mill on Strathern Avenue North in Hamilton will now be shutting down. Operations there consisted of making products for telecommunications, construction, and automotive markets. The layoffs come as the ongoing trade war between Canada and the U.S. escalated last week with the doubling of steel tariffs to 50% on imports to the U.S., up from 25%. The union representing the workers say a quarter of its workforce was already laid off prior to this announcement, and tariffs weren't the only factor that led to the closure.
Our company can't compete with the prices of the dumping of steel coming from China. 30 years ago, this city was full of steel manufacturing, and I've just watched their steel industry here in Hamilton deplete and almost become obsolete.
In a statement to CHCH News yesterday, ArcelorMittal Long said it is exploring all alternatives. The company adds the decision to close the mill is due to ongoing economic challenges, increased steel imports in Canada, and market conditions. Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath called on the federal government to support the workers and the industry.
Hamilton police are looking for a man after a carjacking in the city's East End. They have released these images of the man they're looking for. After being in a crash June 2nd near Main Street East and Tuxedo Avenue, police say he ran from his vehicle into an idling gray Toyota Highlander. He pulled the driver out and then took off after stealing the SUV. It has now since been recovered, but investigators are still looking for him.
A teenager from Brantford has been missing since Sunday. 15-year-old Jayla was last seen getting into a taxi on McClure Avenue in Brantford. Police haven't released her last name. She's about 5'3" with long brown curly hair and a nose ring. Jayla has a tattoo of a cross on the top of her right middle finger and another tattoo on her left hand.
The Toronto woman accused of killing 3 people last year is fit to stand trial next month. 30-year-old Sabrina Calder is charged in the death of her roommate in Toronto and the random attacks of 47-year-old Lance Cunningham in Niagara and 77-year-old Mario Bilic in Hamilton. In March, a judge had ruled Calder unfit to stand trial, ordering her into a 60-day psychiatric treatment before reassessment. The judge said that if most of the symptoms of her mental illness have been resolved, it is also likely her unfitness to stand trial has been resolved.
Crown prosecutors are set to continue their final arguments over the sexual assault trial of 5 former members of Canada's World Junior Hockey team. Prosecutors argue the complainant did not voluntarily agree to the sexual acts that took place in a London, Ontario hotel room, nor did the players take reasonable steps to confirm her consent. Defense lawyers made their closing submissions this week, repeatedly challenging the complainant's credibility and reliability as a witness and arguing she was an active participant in the sexual encounter. Michael McLeod, Carter Hart, Alex Formanton, Dylan Dubé, and Callan Foote have pleaded not guilty to sexual assault, while McLeod has also pleaded not guilty to an additional charge of being a party to the offense of sexual assault. The judge is set to deliver her ruling on July 24th.
A controversial statue at Queen's Park has been uncovered. The statue of Canada's first Prime Minister and the architect of the residential school system, Sir John A. Macdonald, had been boarded up since 2020 after it was vandalized during a protest. The structure around it was removed yesterday. It was a decision made by an Ontario Legislative Committee headed by the Speaker of the House, Donna Skelly. Deputy Premier Sylvia Jones supports the decision, saying we have to acknowledge what's happened in the past.
I personally, as a member of the provincial legislature, am very pleased that we have removed, the Speaker has chosen to remove the hoarding, and I know that ongoing conversations will happen about the good and the bad of the founders of our country.
Now, a new plaque has been added to the statue with context about Macdonald's role in residential schools. For decades, Indigenous children were forced to attend them to try to erase their traditional way of life. A committee has been meeting with Indigenous representatives to look at ways of acknowledging First Nations peoples on the grounds of the Ontario Legislature. An easing of traffic congestion on the Garden City Skyway in St. Catharines is closer, but it is still a long way down the road. The Ontario government has awarded a contract to twin the bridge. When it's finished, a new 2.2K long bridge will carry Toronto-bound traffic on the QEW over the Welland Canal. The existing bridge will then be rehabilitated to carry Niagara-bound traffic. The Garden City Skyway, not normally as busy as this looks, this was during a crash. It supports the movement of more than $1.1 trillion in goods through the Greater Golden Horseshoe a year. Here's Ontario Transportation Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria.
The Garden City Skyway is critical to trade in our province. Every day it carries over 100,000 trucks and cars along the QEW. It also connects our province to 3 international bridge crossings.
And the Ontario government's also going to add 2 extra lanes to the QEW for 20 kilometres from the east end of the Burlington Skyway towards Niagara. A time frame to finish the project has not been announced. Port Dover getting ready to welcome hundreds of thousands of people from across North America for tomorrow, Friday the 13th.
This year, we have an event happening obviously in June, which is super exciting for us. It's a summer event, or what we call a summer event, which means that it's full-blown, everything's going. We've got beer tents, we've got camping, we've got vendors, obviously loads of bikes coming to town, but it's also the only summer event for the next 2 years.
In fact, the next 3 dates in 2026 will be in the winter time, so participants are going all out for tomorrow. Festivities are starting tonight on Main and Walker Street in Port Dover. There will be an increased police presence throughout Port Dover and coming into town as well. Officers are reminding drivers and riders to share the road safely. Simone Gavros is going to be covering the ride tomorrow, so make sure to watch Morning Live.
All right, time for Sportsline. And for everyone who thought the Thunder would blow away the Pacers in the NBA Finals, think again.
Halliburton on the drive. Can't get it. Toppin on the follow.
Indiana reclaimed the series lead last night by beating Oklahoma City 116-107. Tyrese Halliburton had 22 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds for the Pacers, who also got 27 points off the bench from Benedict Mathurin. Jalen Williams led OKC with 26 points, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander added 24 for the Thunder, who led by 5 going into the fourth quarter. The Thunder will try to even the series at 2-2 tomorrow night. Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame has unveiled its class of 2025.
When I got the call saying that I was going into the Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame, I was really excited, right? About maybe 2 days later, the excitement just, like, I'm getting goosebumps even telling you this story, because the excitement even got better knowing that I was going in with the 86 team.
This year's inductees include former Ticats defensive back Les Brown and the 1986 Grey Cup champion Tiger Cats team. Swimming champion Patty Thompson, Canadian and Ontario champion bowler Connie Ward, and longtime Dundas Real McCoy's owner Don Robertson will also be enshrined at a ceremony on October 22nd at Hamilton Stadium. Tickets are available at hamiltonsportshalloffame.com. Ernie Clement homered and Spencer Turnbull worked 2 scoreless innings to win in his Blue Jays debut as Toronto topped St. Louis 5-2 for a 3-game series sweep. Clement finished with 3 hits but left the game in the 8th inning after suffering an apparent leg injury. Toronto has won 7 of their last 8 games and open a new series in Philly tomorrow. Grayson Barrett hit a grand slam in an 8-run 8th inning as the Welland Jackfish improved to an IBL best 10-1 thanks to a 15-4 win over the Hamilton Cardinals. But I think most fans left Welland Stadium talking about this performance. Who's this guy? The Cardinals.
I've never seen you in shorts.
There you go. Cardinals dropped to 4-4 and now trail Welland 2-0 in the CHCH QEW Series Cup. That is me throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. And it was just a bit outside.
Good job.
She has 10 meters to go, and she is reaching hard to the wall. McIntosh to the finish, and it is. She destroys it.
Summer McIntosh continues to make a big splash at the Canadian swimming trials. The 18-year-old from Toronto set a new world record in the 400-meter individual medley in Victoria, BC. It's the 3rd world record that she has broken at the trials. Colorado defenseman Cale Makar is the latest player to be surprised with an NHL award.
Congratulations, Cale. You are the 2025 Norris Trophy winner.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
My first thought was honestly that one of the boys that I was playing with won like some golf trophy, and it was like a surprise thing. Definitely wasn't on my radar today, that's for sure.
His family and friends threw him a surprise Norris Trophy party at his parents' house. Makar led all Blue Liners with 30 goals and 62 assists this season, becoming the first defenseman to score 30 in 16 years.
And then you see the trophy.
The men's under-23 World Wheelchair Basketball Championship tips off today in Brazil. Simon Mazie-Keep of Niagara Falls will lead Team Canada against the host nation at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Canada won back-to-back gold medals in 1997 and 2001. And some odds and ends in Northern Super League action. AFC Toronto beat the Vancouver Rise 3-2. Week 2 of the CFL season kicks off tonight in Winnipeg, where the Blue Bombers host the BC Lions. And former Pittsburgh Penguins captain and owner Mario Lemieux is reportedly interested in buying back the franchise after selling it to Fenway Sports in 2021.
Okay. Okay, 6:14 is the time on this fairly cloudy Thursday morning, the 12th of June. We'll look at traffic first of all. Nothing here at the 403 and Waterdown Road. That's our exclusive camera. Looks good in both directions, so nothing there. To some MTO traffic cameras to see if they want to play for us today. Here's the QEW at Ontario Street. Toronto bound away from us on that shot. Nikola Tesla Boulevard, same here. Heading toward the Skyway Bridge, pretty light. Other side of the bridge, Fairview Street. We'll flip ahead to the Ford plant. Very light volume there, and the 427 Gardner QEW combination. Nothing to see, and not a lot of sunshine this morning either. But that'll come back to us as the day goes on. Let's check the temperature that we have to start off this Thursday morning. Temperature this morning, a couple degrees better than it was yesterday, and it's still like yesterday morning, mainly cloudy. 15 is our temperature. The winds are light. The relative humidity is down from what it was yesterday morning when it was so hazy. We had 100% relative humidity during the morning yesterday. So for school today, we should hit 24 degrees, which is really comfortable, even with the Humidex 27. Now, there is a chance of a shower. That'll be this morning. Only a 30% chance, and then we'll see a little bit more sunshine as the day progresses. At least the winds will be fairly light today. And the good news, the risk of air quality problems in the low risk category for the day today, so better than it was yesterday. We have this frontal boundary sitting right across the Great Lakes, just to the south of us, going to sag just a little bit, but it's going to keep us fairly unsettled for today. Tomorrow we're not looking at showers, just fairly cloudy conditions. Showers will push in on Saturday, and then we're staying fairly cloudy even as we get into Father's Day on Sunday. So today, 23 to 24 degrees, Humidex around 27, mostly cloudy this morning. Then we'll see more sun as the day goes on. We'll get rid of that chance of a shower this morning. Tonight, skies will be clear, and it'll be cooler. 12 to 10 for the Horseshoe, but single digits away from the lake, as you can see. Tomorrow, we're looking at a bit of sun. We're looking at a mainly cloudy sky, but cooler for Hamilton, 17. It'll be better for the Niagara area and heading to Port Dover in the low 20s for the day tomorrow. So out the door, 12th morning of June. It's a Thursday, mostly cloudy temperature right now, sitting at 15. Long range for the weekend coming up. Annette, right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Ontario's housing starts in the first quarter were at their lowest levels since 2009. The details coming up in Business News. The Canadian dollar is up 6 basis points, trading overseas this morning at 73.22 cents U.S. Gold is $35.10 an ounce higher, and crude is down 64 cents this morning to $67.51 U.S. a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are down in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia today, markets were down triple digits in Tokyo and Hong Kong. Shanghai remained relatively flat. On North American markets, Bay Street hit a record yesterday, lifted high by surging oil prices. The TSX was up nearly 100 points. The Dow lost a single point, and the Nasdaq was down 99 points.
The province's financial watchdog says new home starts in the first quarter are lagging to levels not seen since 2009. Ontario's Financial Accountability Office released its latest report on the economic state for Q1 in 2025, and it says they're seeing, quote, significant weakness around home sales and building. They say that only 12,700 units began construction so far this year, a 20% drop from Q1 in 2024. One expert says the lack of units sold and the high costs to housing are playing a role.
On the ownership side, it's certainly, costs have got to come down. We need to have a rethink of our taxes that go into those individual units. It's upwards up to $300,000 per unit in some municipalities.
The Office of Housing Minister Rob Flack told CHCH News yesterday, quote, while we've made progress, we face challenges beyond our control, global economic uncertainties, supply chain disruptions, and with President Trump's tariffs and tariff threats. It is not business as usual. The Ford government set a goal of getting 1.5 million new homes built by 2031, but the province is not currently on track to meet that target.
Still with housing, the federal government's GST rebate on new homes could save first-time buyers an average of nearly $27,000. The proposal would see the federal portion of the sales tax eliminated on a new home worth up to $1 million if it's purchased by a qualifying first-time buyer and not an investor. The government's fiscal watchdog predicts that a little over 71,000 new builds will qualify for the GST relief over the lifetime of the program. So it includes homes bought from May 27th through to 2031. They can qualify for the rebate as long as the construction starts before 2031 and finishes 5 years later. The rebate was included in the Liberals' spring election platform as a way to help Canadians break into the housing market.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
Time check 6:24 on this Thursday morning. Not a lot of sun in your eyes here. We're looking at the QEW at Niagara Street. Nothing to see there in both directions. Pretty light through St. Catharines. Starting to get a little busy heading down the Skyway Bridge toward North Shore Boulevard, Toronto bound obviously. Nothing east of Bronte. We'll flip ahead to Lorne Park. Looks good there. And the 403 through Erin Mills Parkway. Not a lot to see. Keep in mind, because of a structure fire around Guelph Line, the ramp from the westbound 401 to Guelph Line is closed, so you can't get off there. We'll have to find an alternate going down if you're trying to get to Guelph Line. So let's get to our temperatures that we have this morning. Sitting at 15 degrees for Hamilton, 16 Grimsby, and for Mississauga, 17 into Toronto. So a seasonal overnight low for this time of year is about 12 degrees, so a little bit above to start the morning here. 24 for the daytime high, and that is where we're headed today. Those are our Sun Times records for today. Yeah, there's a little instability around this morning. There's a slim chance of a shower this morning. Then we'll get rid of that, and we'll get a little more sunshine as the day goes on. But 18 for the first spell, and the high will be 24 later on today. It'll feel like about 27, and it's going to become better as the day goes on with that increasing amount of sun. Tonight, it's going to be cool, below seasonal, down to 10 degrees and clear. 17 tomorrow for Friday the 13th. It'll be a mainly cloudy sky, but still some sunshine. And then we get to 19, showers on Saturday, cloudy skies for Father's Day, and then, of course, we get back to some sunshine and nice conditions for Monday and Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, this is pretty cool. Scientists have identified a previously unknown dinosaur species from 86 million years ago.
They named it the Dragon Prince of Mongolia. The dinosaur was small compared to its larger relatives, such as the T-Rex. In fact, this newly identified species is the closest known ancestor of the T-Rex. Scientists believe it served as a transitional species from early Tyrannosauroid species. These findings suggest 3 big migrations between Asia and North America led the species to evolve into a gargantuan size before going extinct 66 million years ago.
Can't even fathom those numbers or the size of those animals.
Or the T-Rex. I mean, that thing was very large.
Yes, yeah.
Well, stay with us. More to come after the break. Good morning.